Hello, it's Bethany Rivett-Carnac here. I've just sat down on a walk and just felt compelled to film a little video. You can probably hear Bodhi slurping at some grimy water from the tree that I'm sat on. Look forward to the repercussions of that later on today. It's been a while since I posted a video, and I've been a little bit scared to actually, which means I knew that I had to do it, because if I'm scared it means I'm hiding, and that's not the purpose of being open that I aspire to. And I wanted to share just a few words on what I call a bit of spiritual homework, a spiritual assignment that I'm doing at the moment, which for me just means something that I'm doing to enable me to grow more. And so my motto for this year, I've set a motto for the last 3 years at the beginning of the year. My motto for this year has been, you be you, I'll be me, and together let's be us. Now, I set these mottos for a year. I feel into what feels right, and every year I've been kind of a bit astounded at what's cropped up and the number of opportunities that the year has thrown up for me to learn about what that motto really means and why I've chosen it. It's kind of intuition that guides me at the beginning of the year, and then I'm like, oh, that's why. And this motto, you be you, I'll be me, and together let's be us, this year, it's only halfway through the year really, and it's been cropping up in a variety of different ways, from my relationship with my husband through to the communities that I'm a member of and what it means to encourage others to be themselves, to feel held and accepted for being who you are, the power of collaboration and community on growth and how amazing that is. It has God led me to realizations about what it means to be a puppy mum, and the responsibility that I have to set boundaries and appropriate leadership, and but still, being accepting of the kind of natural ways of my puppy. So various different things. But I guess what I want to talk about today, and what's been cropping up for me in this last week, has been the concept of unconditional love and acceptance of yourself and of others. And there's been a number of things that have made me realise the importance of this week. So we've had the referendum this week, which I know most people are either still riled about in some way, or they're completely over the chat about it. For me, I feel like there are so many learnings and lessons coming through this time. So that's one thing that's really been cropping up, a lot of lessons around this concept of unconditional acceptance of self and others. But also in my marriage, actually, it's actually challenging when you're going through growth and changing and committed to what I would call a spiritual journey, where you're kind of looking inward as much as outward and applying the things that you're going through in your life to lessons to help you to grow, continually stripping away the layers of mask that you wear in order to be socially acceptable and reveal more of who you really are underneath all of that trying and striving. That can actually create changes, obviously, in a partnership, in a marriage. And this last few years has caused, there's been a lot of that in my marriage. And so a couple of things that I've learnt this last week about unconditional self and other acceptance. The first lesson has been that you're only able to extend acceptance to others to the extent that you accept and love yourself. And this for me has been a really big lesson, and I, for the last year, realised that my husband and I are incredibly different, and at times that can feel so very challenging. It's so much easier to surround yourself with people who have exactly the same viewpoint as you, who are interested in the same things as you. But really, truly, if you just surround yourself with people who hold exactly the same opinion as you, you're not pushed to consider alternative viewpoints. You're never challenged to really inquire as to whether some of the perspectives you have are outdated, and you're just surrounding yourself with people who agree with you in order to prevent you from facing that discomfort of having to challenge your viewpoint and the concept that you could actually, be required to make some changes yourself. And equally, it's easier to be surrounded by people who all have the same viewpoint, because then you never have to be tested to consider whether you can love somebody exactly as they are. When they have a very different viewpoint to you, you're never challenged to really face into, that feeling of really loving someone as they are. So this last few years, my husband and I have realised we have very different viewpoints. Politically, we vote for different things. We have different viewpoints on what is and isn't acceptable to us. We have very different perspectives on a number of different things, lifestyle choices. Like, I've just been transitioning to eating less dairy, and my husband really loves red meat. Simple little things, but more and more so, we're finding that there is less that we have in common than probably we do. He is the yin to my yang, and at times I really sense that, and I absolutely relish the fact that he has a different perspective from me, and he challenges me, and at times, quite frankly, it does my head in, and I want to run away, and I wish he was just the same, and I wish that I wasn't confronted with this different perspective, and I wish he wanted to come to meditation retreats with me, and I find it really, really hard, as he does. I consider myself, what is this dog doing? What is he doing? I consider myself to be kind of on this spiritual journey, and he's not. And he finds it hard that I'm interested in completely different things to him. We talked about it. Gross. But what I realise, the more I want to retreat and run away, and the more I find myself trying to persuade him to come round to my way of thinking, the more I try and show him that what I'm interested in is good enough, like it's worth hearing about, it's valuable, it's so important, the more I realise I'm not just letting him be who he is. And in truth, I'm not, if I'm trying to prove myself and my viewpoint to somebody else, I'm not accepting that I'm okay as I am. I'm not standing in my power and accepting myself as I am. I'm trying to create a situation where somebody else changing their opinion to my way of thinking means that I'm okay. That it's okay to feel how I feel, it's okay to think how I think, that my beliefs are okay, because that person then believes the same. Whereas in truth, true loving self-acceptance is when you can stand in your own knowledge and know that there will be times that somebody's viewpoint will challenge your way of thinking, and to be open to the fact that there are times you will change your perspective, and there will be times that you say, actually, I acknowledge and respect that that's how you feel, but for me this is it, this is how I believe. And being able to discern the difference between the two. When is it right for me to change my views, my beliefs, my thoughts, my feelings? And when is it right for me to say, actually, no, I stand true to this, and I'm okay that you feel differently? And this referendum has really taught me the same. The feeling that a lot of what I saw on my social media feed was people trying to persuade others round to their way of thinking. Whereas in truth, we all will have different experiences in life, and our perspectives will all be different, because no two people walk the same path. No two people have walked in the same shoes for a same journey. And yes, there are people whose perspectives I will politely disagree with, but I can't take away from the fact that they have every right to feel how they feel and think how they think. And it's not my job to persuade somebody to feel differently. What it is my job to do is step into their shoes and understand why they might be feeling the way that they are. And just share my perspective with love, with no anticipation that I will be changing their viewpoint round to mine. Compassion and understanding are the basis of self-acceptance and unconditional love, and that more than ever has been coming to my attention this week. I haven't cracked how to do it, actually. That's something I'm exploring more and more. But actually, the more times I surround myself with people with a different viewpoint and a different experience of life, and the more time I inquire as to where they're coming from, the closer I'll get to that unconditional acceptance and love that ultimately is how I would like to live my life. So that's what I'm with this week. To be honest, I had no idea what I was going to talk about at the beginning of this video, but that's kind of where I'm at. I would love to hear your viewpoint on this concept of self-acceptance and unconditional love for self and others. If you have any perspective, any resources that you found useful, any stories to share, please do. I'd love to hear what you've discovered this week. Much love to all, and if you've got to the end of this video, I hope there's been something in it that has resonated with you. Big love. Bye bye.